In tonight's Eye on Chicago, March is Women's History Month, and we are celebrating.
We're highlighting some women who lead amazing lives. Our Marie Saavedra has tonight's story.
The woman you're about to meet has a pretty neat day job, and then some. Look, listen, and enjoy.
There's a somebody I'm longing to see.
As a professional singer, Charlene Brooks has done it all, from rock to country, jazz to Broadway.
Get a feathered hat for the baby.
And when we say done it all, you can't begin to imagine.
Oh, long.
You see, singer Charlene Brooks is also Rabbi Charlene Brooks.
Now, having begun Exodus,
But her people at Congregation Bene Shalom in Skokie simply call her
Rabbi Char.
So how did she get from here to here?
The spirit is to love.
And why is she doing her service in sign language?
So I will...
Well, that's all kind of a long story, and Rabbi Char loves a good story. So let's start at the beginning.
I grew up mostly in Andersonville, which is it was a very nice neighborhood, especially if you were Scandinavian. And if you were Jewish, it was a little more difficult.
But singing came easily. So did a love of records.
I would play them and dance around the living room like I had an audience of 1,000 people.
She got really serious about singing after college. And when a job in accounting just didn't cut it, she jumped at the offer to put together a band and hit the clubs on Rush Street.
But it was 6 nights a week, 6 hours a night, no monitors, just singing my heart out.
She even traveled, singing country songs at state fairs and doing one-woman shows.
During that time, I joined this temple with my family. I remember sitting there in the sanctuary and listening to the cantor, thinking, that's so cool, I would love to do that. And I ended up doing a Hanukkah program. And the next thing I knew, I was cantoring here.
It was a job she held for the next 27 years.
I started seminary somewhere in there, and somewhere before the 27 years was over, and started studying Hebrew seminary and was ordained. The rabbi here passed away, and I was offered the job.
Char says she never had to choose between her life on stage
It only tells us.
and on the bima.
As I was doing services on Friday nights, Saturday mornings, I was doing shows Saturday night, and the audience was, a large part of my audience was my congregation, as one.
Not a typical rabbi and not a typical congregation.
Because tonight is a special event.
It's why you see Char and an interpreter communicating in sign language.
Welcoming in the Shabbos bride.
Bene Shalom was formed over 50 years ago by a group of families who were deaf.
Because the deaf families had no place of their own that was dedicated with sign language and with respect. We have more hearing members than we have deaf right now. However, we're always respectful of the deaf people that are watching on Zoom or here with us in person. Baruch Shem Kivot. And my daughter even comes in and adds to the sign language. And where thou liest down.
While she loves being in front of her congregation, Char says there's something else that's important.
My goal being a rabbi, believe it or not, was to do funerals. Both of my parents were survivors of the Holocaust. They lost every human being they knew or had anybody attend their death other than the other people dying. As long as I can remember, I wanted to honor them.
Char says coming from a family of survivors taught her to both endure sadness and cherish joy.
This conversation is a moment. The time you have a dinner where everybody's laughing, that's a moment. You have to grab onto that because it could change in a heartbeat.
That belief is clear in Char's sermons.
Kol asher diber Hashem. I'm not happy unless people have laughed and they've cried. And then hopefully they've laughed as they're leaving. Lord is the strength in my life. And I first thought that my mission was to sing. The other part is taking that and helping people with it. That's my mission. I have a job where I can sing and I can help people. pretty good. Someone to watch over me.
Char told us she even writes original songs for Sabbath services. She calls it one of her claims to fame, and we know that she has many. For Eye on Chicago, I'm Marisa Vedra, CBS News Chicago.
Talk about one of the most interesting women in the world there. She has done so much
Exactly.
and been so impactful.